And today, I'm delighted to say, we're discussing North Sea oil and gas production. Joining me now is Neil Rothnie, a retired offshore oil and gas worker, who is speaking to us from Glasgow this afternoon. Hey, Neil, I tell you what, being a proponent of North Sea oil and gas in Glasgow at the minute mustn't make you very popular.
Being an opponent of it, well, I think that most people in Glasgow are very, very aware of the climate crisis. They may not be up to date with every single statistic, but they know that the days of oil and gas are long gone. And just to be clear about this, Just Stop Oil are making the demand that there is no new oil and gas licenses, that we don't develop any more oil and gas.
Yeah,
The
the government are actually saying though, Neil, aren't they, that the plans to increase oil and gas production, especially utilising our own domestic sources, are actually about bringing down these spiralling power prices. Now, I've been to Glasgow many times, Neil, and I know for a fact it's not a place that's, awash with wealth. Wouldn't this help struggling Glaswegians?
Oh, on the contrary, I mean, we've had in the last few months, we've had an enormous rise in domestic fuel bills, and they're due to go much higher. This is nothing to do with increased production costs in the North Sea. This is pure profit taking by an industry which has got absolutely no concern for either the workers in the industry or for the consumers of their product.
Well, hang on though. These are companies would turn around and they would say, look, the likes of BP, the likes of Shell, you name it, they're all saying we're investing in the future of the energy market, which is more renewable, net-focused energy sources.
The real situation that exists just now is that if we continue to produce hydrocarbons the way we're doing it, the climate crisis is going to develop past a point where we can actually live on the planet. So whatever the government are saying, whatever green spin the oil companies are putting on this, it's very, very clear to people like the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I mean, these are not radicals. These are, government sanctioned scientists. It's very clear to them that if you do not begin to stop producing fossil fuels now, then it's going to be too late for the future of most people on the planet. Here, in Scotland or in the UK, the main source of the fossil fuel pollution is the North Sea. And that North Sea has got to be curtailed. It's got to be stopped. There's the prices that we're paying, the hugely inflated prices that 1 million new people are going to be driven into poverty through. That's according to Martin Lewis.
Neil, I'll tell you what, though. I think there are communities up and down this country that know a thing or two about poverty, and actually energy insecurity in this country is a great source of that poverty.
Exactly. But the insecurity has been driven by North Sea oil. It's expensive. It's expensive. And the prices are being driven up by speculation. There's been no increase in production costs for North Sea oil.
Because people like you keep campaigning against the energy sources that we know work. We need to use gas, for example, as a transition to get to the kind of country that I assume you and I want to see. I'm afraid to say, Neil, that I think you're living in a sort of Panglossian fancy land here, where we've got a land of milk and honey coming down the track, when actually people are struggling right now, and the only way we can plug that gap is through gas.
No, the exact opposite is the case. The gas that people are forced to buy, the gas that's pumped into their homes, is hugely inflated in price. This is renewable energy is cheaper than gas. It's quicker to bring on stream and it's cheaper. I mean, you can argue with me, but you really need to argue with the International Energy Agency. I mean, they're saying, look, if governments are serious about climate crisis, there can be no new investments in oil and gas or coal from now on. That's unequivocal. It's not me saying it. It's not Just Stop Oil saying it. It's the International Energy Agency.
So, Neil, I'm assuming then, as far as scrap reform keeps concerned, you are saying a resounding scrap to oil, North Sea oil and gas.
To be replaced by a massive expansion of renewables. To be replaced
and I
and to be.
politely say I disagree, and I actually think that, one, it's a great source of economic opportunity for people in Scotland, and two, it would ensure that households that are really hard pressed right now actually are able to keep heating their homes. But Neil, thank you very much.
You haven't said anything that
A
convinced
retired
me that you know
offshore
what
oil
you're
and gas
talking about.
worker there with his view. Now, to finish this hour, let's have a campus clash. While William and Kate have been on